Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Virginia City Council meeting. We'll call this meeting to order. Today's date is Tuesday, June 27th, 2023. The time is 5:30 p.m. Thank you for everyone who's in the audience today, and those of you who are listening at home. We have a full agenda, and we have a public speaker today as well. Pam, would you please take the roll call?
Motley.
Here.
Friedlieb.
Present.
Paulson.
Present.
Yondich.
Present.
Johnson.
Here.
Baranzelli. Cuffey.
Present. Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. We'll move to item 4 on the agenda, which is a public forum. This is an opportunity for anyone in the audience that'd like to address the council for any topic that they deem appropriate to move forward with. So is there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak? Please come forward. Please come forward, and would you turn the green light on, please? And state your name for the record, and welcome to the City Council meeting.
Hi, thank you. Polly-Ann Sorkin, Evelyn resident. I just want to say, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And please state your name for the record, and welcome to the council meeting.
Thank you. My name is Brianna Salo. I have been acting as our family representative for the last 2 years. Our family has been advocating for, for justice regarding a 2021 homicide that occurred here in Virginia. Yesterday marked the 2-year anniversary of my brother's unprosecuted homicide. Thank you. I will be sharing a condensed timeline of the last 2 years of the unimaginable hell that our family has endured thanks to our county attorney's office. June 26, 2021, Ryan Moats died moments after being the victim of a senseless, continued, vicious assault wherein he was unable to defend himself. September 23rd, our family meets with Bonnie Norlander, who doesn't show us any paper review, nor is she able or willing to answer our questions. She declines any charges. October 20th, we met with Kim Mackey, Nathaniel Stummy, Jerry Konechny, and Victoria Wanta. Attorney Wanta provided us with a 20-page review, but ultimately said she wouldn't be bringing any charges. At this point, we filed for all the records, police and medical. There were so many discrepancies in the 20-page review when they were put next to the reports that we asked the attorney's office for one more meeting. November 22nd, we met with Kim Mackey, Victoria Wanta, and Chris Flory. They were unwilling to discuss the discrepancies. They offered to charge with misdemeanors at that time, but we refused and requested that they do an independent review that would align with the reports that we had. They refused to send the case out of the county, but they told us that we had 3 years to change our mind for the misdemeanor charges. December 13th, Chris Flory sends an email to Virginia PD declining charges. That was not 3 years. And what's more, they never told our family that they took their word back and declined charges. April 16th, we found an attorney outside of our county who offered Kim Mackey an independent review, and Kim Mackey declined. May 17th, an investigator from the Crime Victims Justice Unit sent Kim Mackey a letter encouraging her to allow this attorney to conduct this independent review. Kim Mackey declined. June 17th, Jerry Konechny told us that because of all the time that had elapsed, that it would no longer be efficient for the county to handle any misdemeanor charges, and then it must be prosecuted by the city attorney. September 13th, I reached out to Mike Carney, the hired criminal attorney in Virginia here, and after some long-awaited answers, we found out that back in 2021, Mike Carney had already declined to charge in the case for 2 reasons. One would be the seriousness of the case, and 2, because the attorney's office reviewed the case and they should be the ones charging it. Essentially, what the attorney's office did by rerouting us to Mike Carney was just to further waste precious time regarding the statute of limitations on the misdemeanor. October 26, 2022, a media source reached out to Kim Mackey regarding charges. She stated, "Because nearly a year has passed, there are no longer any efficiencies to leverage." By stating this, she once again disregards the 3-year period that they had given our family. Although we understand that it should not have been put on Mike Carney, 3 months had went by before we received an answer for him, and that was precious time. January 5th, Brian Lindsay agreed to bring charges in this case, not because it was his job, but because it was the right thing to do. Unfortunately, he had been delayed in the case multiple times because of an unforeseen problems with the filing system. I met with Brian on May 31st, and everything was ready to go. We were just waiting for him to meet with the Virginia PD. I'm going to stop my speech here and just say that moments ago I received news that the complaint is signed and over at the courthouse. So it is a blessed day our family has been waiting for. In closing, our family would like to thank Brian Lindsay for doing the right thing when others would not. We'd also like to recognize the Virginia PD. They have been so kind and patient with our family. And above all else, the integrity they have shown will always be appreciated. Last but certainly not least, we would like to thank Mayor Cuffey for making time for our family and for meeting with me. I thank you all for allowing me to share the last 2 years of our life and now finally some very good news. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brianna. Our hearts, it tugs at our heartstrings, and we're happy to see that we're moving forward with the case. So thank you so much for coming in and giving us an update. And thank you for your patience and your perseverance moving forward on behalf of your family. Okay, thank you. We'll move to the next item on the agenda, which is the consent agenda. The following items will be enacted by one motion unless a councilor or a citizen of the City of Virginia requests that the item be considered separately. Item 5.1 is the approval and corrections of the minutes of the regular meeting that was held on June 13, 2023. Item 5.2 is the adoption of Finance Resolution Number 23-012, the schedule of bills. Item 5.3, approve the transient merchant license for Virginia Hightower doing business as TNT Fireworks. And finally, item 5.4, approve pay estimate number 15 for the 2021 street project to Casper Construction in the amount of $11,936.84. These are the items on the consent agenda looking for council action.
I'll move approval of the consent agenda as it's been documented.
Councilor Freely moves to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Councilor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We'll move to item 6, appearances. No one is scheduled to appear before the council this evening. This, once again, is an opportunity for anybody in the audience that would like to address the council. Please come forward now. Seeing none, we'll move to item number 7, unfinished business. Item 7.1 is the property at 410 5th Street South. And you have just a little bit of information, Colleen, our city attorney, regarding this particular issue.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Basically, my understanding from Brian Lindsay, who's not here tonight, is that the permitting process is ongoing. There will be an inspection at the conclusion of that process. And so the city will definitely gain more information about the status of that property and any issues regarding it. I won't brief anything in the past. I know the council's well aware of the history of this file, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. Okay, well, Counselor Freely,
What is the timeline from the permitting being provided to the time that it would be inspected? Is it like a 6-month timeframe?
I think it's about that, yeah, and I don't know where we are exactly in it. I don't know if Britt might know exactly when the deadline would be. I think it's not too far underway, though, so we're looking probably at a few more months at least,
All
Counselor.
right, thank you.
thank you, Colleen. Thank you, Counselor Freely. Okay, anything else? Okay, move to the next item on the agenda, which is the Iron Trail Memorial Event Center contract. Oh, it appears as though we have, I'm sorry, number 2, thank you for that, the clinic lease. I believe there's been some conversation with Frank Modich from Essentia Health between them and our attorney's office with the ongoing discussions about the clinic lease moving forward. Is that correct, Colleen?
That is, Brian Lindsay indicated again, he'd had some productive conversations with Mr. Modich, and they're continuing to work through some of the issues. There's nothing more to report tonight, but just so the council knows that it is an ongoing process.
Thank you very much. Anything else from the council? Okay, we'll move to item number 7.4 on the agenda, which is the Iron Trail Memorial contract. Is there anything else that we need to talk about with respect to this contract moving forward? I know that they're working on that one part of the lease that relates to the raffle and trying to work that out and doing some research on what, as well as what public-private partnerships are as opposed to private-private partnerships in their other raffle programs through Iron Trail Motors and the other vendors that they have naming rights with. So it's still moving forward with discussions about that.
That is my understanding as well, Mayor. Yes, it is.
Thank you, Colleen. Any other questions or comments from the council with respect to item 7.4? Seeing none, we'll move to item 8, discussion items. Item 8.1, as we all aware, we've got this information as we were notified last Thursday and Friday about emergency purchase for a battery replacement on the Zamboni. You have in your packet an email from Brian Silber. There was an emergency situation where he was called out at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning, discovered that the batteries on the older Zamboni are defunct and they need to buy some as an emergency purchase for the summer ice program so both Zambonis can be utilized. So in discussions with our city administrator Britzy Bennis and myself, we tentatively approved for Brian Silber, our Park and Rec Director, to get some quotes for the replacement of the Zamboni. In your packet, it shows that we're using the contract that we use on a regular basis that has the contract for repairs for the Zamboni. But he's asking, and we are asking for approval for the emergency purchase for the battery replacement of the Zamboni at a cost of $13,233.50.
We'll move the emergency purchase.
Councillor Freely moves to approve, is supported by Councillor Johnson? Is that correct? Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Councillor Freely?
Just a quick question to Sherry is, like, where will this be coming from? And has there been thoughts about seeking sponsorship for the Zamboni as we did from Komatsu for the other one?
Mayor,
Yes, please, Sherry.
Councillor Freely and councillors, this would come out of the contingency fund because it's a bit of an emergency. And no, I don't think we have thought of getting sponsors, but definitely is a good idea.
We have been seeking sponsors, but we haven't got one yet. But we have been seeking sponsors, but nobody's bid on it yet.
Yeah, thank you. So for those of you who are listening at home, we are attempting to find a sponsorship for the second Zamboni, the older one. So it has been moved and supported to allow the expenditure of $13,233.50. Is there any further discussion? Councillor Beyondich.
Thank you.
Sherry, I know that you've sent us the contingency fund balance. Is there anything else? I mean, I can't remember what the amount was left in there for a contingency.
Sherry?
Mayor, Counselor Bandich, I mean, I believe it's well over 80,000 yet,
Okay.
if I remember right, because we haven't spent hardly anything.
Yeah, I think that pickup truck came out of there, and I can't remember what else, but just so we keep up to date, if you can send that out again once we do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Beyondich. It has been moved and supported to approve the purchase. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Item 8.2, adopt a resolution to make application for and accept funds from the IRRR Economic Development Authority Partnership Grant Program, Phase 4.
I'll move that resolution.
Counselor Motley moves to approve that resolution, supported by Counselor
Beyondich.
Beyondich. Thank you. Both two lights on there. Further discussion? First, Counselor Beyondich, and then over to Counselor Paulson. Counselor Beyondich.
Is it the normal amount that we're asking for on that grant for that fourth phase?
This was $200,000 that they had left over in their fiscal year of '23 that they needed to clean out by June 30th. And so they had this money was allocated to 2 other cities that couldn't spend it by June 30th. And because we do have people on our waiting list that are seeking these funds for our downtown program, we were able to access this and do this resolution, or do the grant application to obtain that $200,000 from
So
them.
that doesn't affect us going forward for the next phase?
Nope.
Okay.
This just makes the next phase a little faster. We weren't planning to do the next phase until fall. Now we'll have the money next month.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Beyondich. Counselor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. And maybe just some clarification. I don't know if those funds are earmarked, but I'm just wondering if I need to recuse in case we will be applying for any of those EDA funds.
Colleen?
I would say it's the best practice, just in case, if you have any concerns that you might.
Will do.
I would say it would make a
Thank
good
you.
record. Thank you for disclosing that as well.
Thank you, Counselor Paulson. So it has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Recusal, 1. Thank you. Motion passes. Okay, item 8.3 is adopt the resolution authorizing and accepting the state bonding funds for the City of Virginia capital bonding projects. Move to approve by Counselor Freelieb. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Motley. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9, committee reports. Item 9.1, the committee of the whole meeting that was held on June 20th, 2023. Item 9.1A is approve the request to waive the city portion of the fees for the Range Traditional House Building Permit.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Johnson. Is there support? By Counselor Freelieb. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.1B, adopt the resolution for change order for the increase in oil costs and request documentation be provided from the contractor stating the exact dollar amount of the increase for the 2021 street project. Now, this is, for the benefit of the public, this is oil that goes into the making of the bituminous to put in, and oil, those oil costs skyrocketed, and we had some discussion at the committee, the whole meeting about it. Do we get any other information that was requested? I believe the request came from Counselor Paulson, if I remember, and others, about what would the exact dollar amount of the increase? Do we have that? Did we get any of that? It's in the packet? $3,818.88. And Matt Reed gave us, our SCH engineer Ricker gave us an overall view of the project cost and indicated that even though the cost increased, based upon the contingency that they have in there, they're way below what the expected contingency is on that and below the budget with respect to that. So he recommended that this be approved, and we did approve it moving forward to this council meeting for final approval. Councilor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. So this change order is 381888. I'm just going to do a little quick math to see. It's almost an $8 million project. I feel like that contingency should have been built in, and Matt kind of alluded to that a little bit, that because we've already changed it once, changing it again, I'm struggling with it, that it's $3,000 on an $8 million project, that the percentage of contingency should have been able to cover that $3,000. So I don't know, I don't like change orders. That's not been a secret. And that this is a second change order. The work's already done, if I remember correctly. This is the I'm looking, this is the second wear course on to the west of the school, correct? That's the street we're talking about? Or is this the 3rd Avenue second wear course? I can't remember.
3rd Avenue, they
Third
just got their second course on Wednesday.
So I'm struggling, I'm not comfortable for myself making a motion and to accept this. And I don't know that I will be voting for it for that small of a percentage, which should have been built in. And hopefully they're doing that moving forward as we are looking at our street projects, because this, I anticipate, is only going to get worse with the costs and moving forward. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Johnson. Councillor Beyondich.
Did they bid this, if I'm not remiss, did they bid this is it a 3-year span, and they've done one change order for this? Is there money in the contingency fund for this? Is there a contingency fund for this?
Sherry?
Mayor, Councilor Beyondich, I believe there is a contingency fund for that particular project. It's not in the general fund. It would be built in the expense like Matt Reed had mentioned, but yes, there's been a change order already.
So is there money in that contingency fund for this, or no?
Offhand, I would have to research, see how much is left.
Okay.
If I may, I think last Tuesday at the committee of the whole meeting, Matt Reed from SCH Engineering did indicate that the project is under the budget that we had anticipated it to be, and there was money available within that aspect of it. So what the bid was in the budget was high, but they haven't reached that threshold, and they're under that part of the budget. And he had also indicated, if we all recall, that if it was a 2-year project or a 1-year project, he might say that maybe this is something that we wouldn't want to consider, but they bid it over the 3-year cycle. So that's what I recall. Councillor Paulson, and then over to Councillor Motley. Councillor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm okay moving forward because I remember Matt saying we were under budget on this item. And just to, I guess for the general public, the reason that we were given for the change order is there was an increase to their cost for the asphalt oil, for the oil that's used in the asphalt. But what I'm not comfortable with, on Matt's, it's on page 41 in our packet, and Matt's change order from SEH, it states the amount of $3,818.88, but the box that's checked is estimated and not actual. So will there be, if that's an estimate, is that going to be changed based on if they use more tonnage?
I think the motion will be, if there's a motion made, would be for that specific amount.
So then the change order would need to say, be checked off, and the box would need to be checked off that says actual, not estimated.
And we can make that motion to do so.
Okay, and if that can be done, I would be comfortable with that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Paulson. Councillor Motley.
I kind of agree with you, Councillor Johnson, and what you brought up. I remember last week talking to Matt Reed, and he said technically they are bound by contract. So if we didn't agree to this little over $3,000, technically they are bound by a contract. So that's kind of where I stand right now. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it just says estimated cost, so, and it shows a unit price of $216, quantity $1,768. Net change of this order is $3,818.88. So that would be, if we were going to make a motion moving forward, that would be the amount that we would be motion for. No more than that. So,
I would go ahead and make a motion to adopt the resolution for the change order. My recollection is Matt, once he kind of dwindled it all down, he said it would be about a $4,000 cost to us, which is what it appears to be. And even if there's a 1% contingency, there's probably $70,000 that's been set aside for these kinds of costs that come up. I do agree that we feel like at times we're being nickeled and dimed by contractors when they're getting a $7 million project, but nonetheless, we owe them money for the work that they're doing and for the materials that they use. So I would go ahead and make that motion to move forward with the change order.
okay, thank you. Councilor Freely makes a motion to move the change order forward to approve. Is there support for that?
Can I ask a question?
Sure. Go ahead.
Is it normal when we have projects like this that these types of change orders come in? Is this normal with how things work with the city?
Well, we do get change orders on a regular basis. We don't like change orders, obviously, and usually change orders come when it's an unanticipated expenditure, or say for the sake of, as an example, we're digging into a facility where we have an X amount of dollar budget for that, and they find some contaminants in there that was not anticipated. That would be an additional cost in a change order with respect to that. This particular issue is an increased cost in the oil that goes into the asphalt, and they're asking us to cover that increased cost that they didn't anticipate to happen. Councilor Johnson, did you have something else?
Yes, and I think this council, as have gotten much better at change orders in the last, I'll just say 6 years. It was common practice in the past just to go, sure, go ahead, change. And because I think we've all worked very hard at keeping them to task. Both our staff and people we contract are getting very good at trying to negotiate so there aren't change orders. So I appreciate you asking that question, because that helps me to also process that they've probably had this discussion with them, that, the council hates change orders, they're watching closely. So based on that, we don't like them, like the mayor said, and it's our job to scrutinize them. And so I feel, now that I think about this a little bit more, I feel like that's process has happened, and they wouldn't be coming to us unless the staff felt it was necessary. So I'll probably work through this in my mind, and I'll probably support this for that reason. And I appreciate you asking that question to help me process through that as well. Thank you.
Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor to approve. Is there support for the motion to approve the change order? Councilor Johnson moves to support. It's moved by Councilor Freely, supported by Councilor Johnson to approve the change order. Is there any further discussion? Councilor Paulson.
And so just for my clarification, is it going to be the actual number, or is it an estimated number?
The motion would be for the actual number of $3,818.88.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's the motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 9.1C, adopt a resolution for the proposed increase to the volume rate for the sewer based on recommendations from Baker Tilly sewer rate study.
So moved.
Move to approve by Councilor Motley. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Councilor Freely. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.1D, approve the request for Range Mental Health Center Incorporated to close a portion of South 8th Avenue West on September 20th, 2023, between 2nd and 3rd Street South from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. for the Wellstone Center for Recovery Open House that's scheduled on that date.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Johnson, supported by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item 9.1E, approve the letter of understanding for the Evelyn, Virginia Airport Authority Secretary Bookkeeper with the requested changes as recommended by our Personnel Committee.
So moved.
Move to approve by Counselor Johnson, supported by Counselor Freely. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. 9.1F, approve the request to split the school resource officer, which is known as the SRO position, and the community relations officer, CRO position. So the police department would have two officers at the school. One will be the school resource officer, the other would be a community relations officer, and so they'll have these positions would basically be full-time. There were some questions at the committee of the whole meeting about can we, by taking another officer off the street, that's going to be a concern, but apparently Chief Mattson indicated that it's doable.
Correct. And I just want to clarify, Mayor, if I may. The school resource officer will be located at the school 9 months of the year, and then they go back into the regular rotation for the other 3 months. The community relations officer is located at the mall office for the community relations office.
Thank you for that clarification. Yes, Lieutenant Swenson is the community relations officer, and we're looking for an SRO to 9 months out of the year, and then back on the road when the school is out. Thank you for that clarification, Britt. So looking for a motion moving forward. It comes from, I believe, a recommendation that came through our Personnel Committee as well.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Beyondich, supported by Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 9.1G, allow staff the opportunity to begin the process to post for the school resource officer position.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Paulson and supported by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Freely.
So I just, some curiosity, and so these two positions were held by one person previously? It was a combined position, community resources?
Correct. It
and-
was combined community relations, which had the school resource officer duties in it,
And so,
because the school only wanted them 3 days a week.
3 days a week.
And starting this fall, they want them 5 days a week.
They want a full-time.
So then with the community resource officer position obviously expands as well?
Correct. So with Officer Swenson, who was the one that held the combined position previously, he would only work on the community relations stuff 2 days a week. So he couldn't work with the ACT team or the CRT team when he was at the school. So he was only working with them 2 days a week. And there is such a great need in the community relations side that it would be ideal if we could have somebody working 5 days a week with our Range Mental Health partners and our partners at the fire hall and on these community action teams.
All right, thank you much.
Thank you. As Counselor Johnson, further discussion.
Thank you, Mayor. And this is, I'm asking this question for the future. We know the mall is doing a lot of remodeling and stuff. What happens to our community resource office and that partnership moving forward?
They have not indicated that our office space would be renovated.
Okay.
That'll be the last place that'll be done, if done.
Okay.
We have gotten no indication when that would be.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Johnson. Thank you, Britt. It has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Item 9.1H, direct staff to begin developing a job description for the rental inspector, housing inspector position, and to be implemented, the rental code, this comes from the Personnel Committee of earlier this afternoon. Counselor Paulson.
I'll move to approve.
Counselor Paulson moves to approve. Is there support?
Support.
By Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. 9.1I, approve the contract with Gornix for pigeon trapping for approximately 12 weeks at a cost of $3,500. And yes, you'll be looking for the pigeon control all around the area, all around Chestnut Street and those other areas that need to be done. And so he'll be moving forward there. We've got of the three Ps we're having problems with was parking, pigeons, and potholes. The pigeon contract is now in place. So if you have any questions or comments, give us a call and we'll direct Mr. Gornick's attention to that location. So looking for a motion. Moved by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
I'll support.
By Counselor Paulson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Item 9.1J, a motion that the Committee of the Whole meeting to direct staff to devise a proposal for candy and flags and other items for future city parades.
I will move that again.
Okay, Counselor Johnson moves that again. Come from the Committee of the Whole meeting. Is there support?
Support that again.
And supported again by Counselor Paulson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Item 10, Commission Liaison Reports. Is any counselor have a Commission Liaison report they'd like to provide today? Counselor Motley.
I just have one. I was at the Public Utilities meeting, commission meeting yesterday. Not a whole lot to report. The Public Utilities audit should have wrapped up today. That is all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
You're very welcome. Thank you. And just a quick update on the Virginia Elks Laws number 1003, converted from steam to gas. And so that's another one that's in the court district that has already made the conversion at their own expense. So just FYI on that. Okay, any other commission liaison reports today? Seeing none, we'll move to item number 11, department head reports. Britt, we want to say welcome back. Glad to have you back. Thanks for working diligently to help us get through the last few days in absentia. Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
I do have an update, if that's okay.
Thank you.
Revive Virginia and Virginia Elks Club are hosting a volunteer appreciation dinner on Thursday between 4 and 7 p.m. at the Elks Club, which is June 29th. This dinner is a celebration of the people who donate their time and money to make people's lives better on the Iron Range. So Revive Virginia wanted to put together something to thank everybody in our community who contributes. Dinner will consist of spaghetti, bread, meatballs, and salad. If you're hungry on Thursday, stop on by from 4 to 7 and join us for some dinner.
That's this coming Thursday.
This
from
coming
4 to
Thursday.
7. Very good. Thank you,
Thank you.
Britt. McLean, any updates from our attorney's office?
No other updates this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Pam, anything?
I do, Mayor.
Oh, please. Thank you.
Just a reminder, our Committee of the Whole meeting will be on Wednesday at 9 a.m. due to the 4th of July holiday, Independence Day holiday.
July 5th at 9 a.m. Very good. Thank you. Sherry, anything? The A word is in your mind right now? The audit?
Yes, audit, and happy to hear that public utilities, because they're part of our audit. So we did have to ask for an extension, not due to public utilities alone, but because we have some new staff, and it's a learning process. So, but I think we're getting down there. Hopefully, we'll have it here in July, transfer for year-end transfers. That's what we're working on right now. Other than that, I'm working on 2024 budget, so the AB.
Well, we're looking forward to that.
Oh, are you sure about that?
Yeah. Jenny, anything from our planning department?
The only thing I'd like to say, thank you, Mayor, is we are almost fully staffed in our department right now, and that is a very exciting thing. So thank you for all the support that you've had for our department.
Well, thank you very much. We look forward to lots of economic development moving forward, and thank you for the presentation you made in the past with respect to, what your vision is for the city in the planning arena. So appreciate that, Jenny, very much. Okay. Any other department head reports? We have one, Jody Grabanowski, our library director. Jody, welcome once again to the council meeting.
Thank you. I just want to make sure invite everybody to join us at this at the library for summer reading. This week, we do have one more event that is for older teens or anybody else. We're going to be at the Lyric Center doing some drawing, anime type drawing, and then also working with perler beads, which is these little tiny beads. You make these designs and then you iron them. They actually turn out pretty cool. If you want to make a baby Yoda, it's actually really fun. Next week, they can come start getting their prizes, so after the 4th of July. But then July is like our huge month. So we almost have stuff going on 3 or 4 days a week. A couple that I want to point out. So we do have story time every Tuesday. If you drive by the library, you'll see it's outside. Today, they went fishing, so that was kind of fun. We had people asking what in the world they were doing. So, you know. But then we've added some programs that are on our library calendar, but we're not on our sheet if you've picked up one of these. We're working with different partnerships, so we have a discussion at 12 o'clock on July 10th. And it's with this group that is doing get the right thing. So it's relationships over politics, connecting with family and friends, and it's through the Lighthouse. Let's see, I have to get the right, we went back to the wrong place here. So this is what happens when your computer does weird things. Ooh, there we go. Now I can see it. Lighthouse for Living. So it's and they're starting, they're from Two Harbors, and they've been working their way through northern Minnesota. So they're kind of working on that. And then, of course, we've got Kids for Concert, Bubble Wonders, and that's all in the first couple weeks in July. So I will keep giving you different things. And there is still time to pick up your reading booklets, whether you want to do just a straight up reading log. You can do it on paper, you can do it online, and that information is on our webpage. Or you can do the activity booklet, which a lot of the local businesses are involved, including City Hall, including the library. So you just have to do a scavenger hunt, and you can learn about where everything is in the city of Virginia. If you have any questions, give us a call at 218-748-7525. And that is all.
Thank you very much, Jody. Always exciting to hear from you. You have so many things going on there at the library. Okay, item number 12, council reports. Does any city councilor have a report they'd like to give this evening? Councilor Beyondich.
Thank you. I would like to thank the city for allowing me to go to the League of Minnesota Cities annual conference. It was held in Duluth. And I will share with you some of the classes that I attended, and you'll see a theme as you listen. I wasn't quite conscious of that when I was picking my classes. The first one I went to was From Conflict to Conversation. That was a 3-hour seminar, but it was very interesting, learned a lot. I also attended Designing a Low-Salt Future, which was a little different than what I thought it would be, but it was also interesting on how salt affects our infrastructure and our water. Then I went to a class which was called Network with Others. We networked with others for 15 minutes. What HR professionals wish their elected officials know. That was very interesting. There was a panel of HR people from our area that sat and they kind of told us what they wish as a council that we were aware of and what we knew. So that was a very interesting one. I also went to the last class called You Need a Communication Plan. So as I went through all of these, I realized I am the one who has to learn how to communicate, questions to ask. So I found the conference was very informative and educational for me. So I thank the city for allowing me to attend.
Thank you, Councilor Beyondich. And just so everybody know, before we go to Councilor Paulson, a number of councilors and the mayor went to the League of Minnesota Cities meeting. We all attended different breakout sessions. So I want to thank Councilor Johnson, you, Councilor Beyondich, Councilor Paulson, Councilor Freely, and Councilor Motley for attending and taking the time out of your day and your work schedule and taking personal time which to go to these meetings. So they can be very productive at times. And So thanks for everybody for going down. Counselor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor, and I just wanted to report on that and kind of echo Counselor Beyondich's and your
please do.
sentiments as well. And I kind of chose to stay on the, first of all, thank you to the city and to our taxpayers for allowing that amount of money in our budget to allow us counselors to actually attend these seminars, because I do find a lot of value from them. But I stayed more on the financial track with the classes that I selected. And I attended a financial management class on redeveloping underutilized properties. And then another class was local government aid. And I really got to understand, I guess my takeaway is, from what I can see that other communities are doing, and the league embraces all, I mean, I don't know how many members are part of the league, but there was, I think, 900 attendees there. And my takeaway is that Virginia, actually, we do a really nice job on our financial planning, on our budget management. And I know we always grill Sherry all the time, but, you know, just sitting across from a lot of people at different tables during these sessions, I think what I took away is, you know, we had some at the beginning stages of how do you build a community center. And here we had just successfully built the Iron Trail Motors Event Center, and our constituents were very, very supportive in the 1% sales tax referendum. So it was kind of interesting to see that, yeah, we're just a little community, but we do a really nice job. So I wanted to also thank staff. I learned a lot. The LGA formula is still very confusing, but I am very thankful for the advocacy that we've had, both by our legislator, Dave Lisselgard, as well as our lobbyist. So I want to also thank them for what they've done to continue Virginia's funding for LGA. So that's my takeaway, Mayor.
Thank you, Counselor Paulson. Counselor Motley.
Yes, so I also want to thank the city for allowing me to go to the League of Minnesota Cities conference last week. I went to several classes, but the one that absolutely sticks out in my head is the one on the legalization of marijuana, which goes into effect August 1st of this year. A couple of things that the council may or may not be aware of is that whether you agree with this or not, we are by law have to give out one license, as we are in a community of 12,500 people or less. So we can limit the sale to one license. Cities may place an interim ordinance prohibiting cannabis businesses until January 1st of 2025. Legal sales are expected to begin by January of 2025. Let's see. Something also interesting. Sorry, I have like pages highlighted. A person may not use cannabis flower, cannabis products, or hemp-derived consumer products in a manner that involves inhalation of smokes, aerosol, or vapor at any location where smoking is prohibited under the Clean Indoor Air Act. Something also very interesting, the new law that takes effect August 1st does allow cities to operate a municipal cannabis retail store. This is a unique opportunity. I'm not for or against this. This is just reading. This is a unique opportunity for Minnesota cities, and more research is needed to determine legal ramifications. The 1% sales tax that we are getting for Iron Trail Motors Event Center, this will go towards that. Any sales, 1% will go towards that also. And one thing I find very interesting, so I think we probably need to maybe put this on the committee of the whole to talk about the legalization. So maybe we could do that for, yep. One last thing. Let's see. Sorry, I have something. Bear with me, it might be on my phone. Okay, this is also something that the league said that we could potentially do if the city chose to. Beginning August 1st, 2023, 23, a city may adopt an ordinance establishing a petty misdemeanor offense for a person unlawfully using cannabis flower, cannabis products, lower potency edibles in public places. So I think maybe we need to look at where we're going to allow this on public spaces and in our parks. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor Motley. So I just want to say that it was very educational, and just real quickly, I echo all the sentiments everybody else says, but in talking with the other mayors at the mayor's breakfast, at the mayor's roundtables and those kind of things, I was pleased to say, and I want to thank again our council and our staff, because when talking about the process we've gone on, our financial positions, our road and street project, all our plans moving forward, we have a lot of tentacles out there, and other communities just, they're just amazed as to how much we're really doing here in the city of Virginia. And so it's because of all the work that the council does and the very great support we get from the general public and the great work that our staff does. So working together as a team, we were accomplishing a lot of things in this city. So thank you for everything you've done and for just coming forward and volunteering your time. So, okay, anything else come before the council? Councilor Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that. I'm going to go back a month to Mental Health Month. I know we had a resolution, but I really needed to talk today about what my mental health journey has been over the last 6 months. As many of you know, we have some personal challenges happened last December. And I'm very aware of my mental health, and I take it very seriously, as do many people. However, what I found was that I wasn't listening to myself. And just had a conversation with one of the people in the audience tonight about why is mental health not as important as physical health? At least that's how it's been. That's how our insurance people find it. I've been seeing my therapist every other week now for about 2 months. And even with the amazing insurance we have, my copay for a single hour visit is $139, which is, I'm grateful for the insurance, I'm grateful for all the benefits that the city offers, but it's because of that I am able to access mental health on a regular basis. And what I came to find about 3 weeks ago was that I was fine. I just kept saying, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, and I wasn't. It was affecting my life, it was affecting my advocacy, it was affecting me in this room. And so I'm bringing it up today because, I'm in a place where I can have that discussion now about what a not great place I was in. And I also am bringing up that it is Pride Month. It is the annual celebration of diversity and love and acceptance. And sometimes, for myself, and I will speak only for myself, I forget to accept that I'm not human. I forget to accept that I'm allowed to make mistakes. I forget to accept that being a parent is hard. And as I look around the room, many parents in here, many aunts and uncles, it's hard. And I bring it up here today because kids, the younger people who watch us, who see us, need to know that it's okay to be not okay. It's okay to struggle on a daily basis. But the key is to find help, whether it's friends, whether it's legal or professionals that we pay, whether it's taking time to yourself. Going to the conference last week was an amazing opportunity to recharge and reset and listen to other officials who struggle on a regular basis. It was a great time to sit back and meet with other parents who have to balance people who have jobs where they are not recognized as a city councilor serving, where they are quite honestly harassed, where they are, and there's laws that protect us, which is phenomenal, but it's really hard sometimes to get the right people to listen at the right time. So as we wrap up Pride Month and Love and Acceptance, every month should be Mental Health Awareness Month. Every month should be a place where we can take a stop and pause and allow ourselves to renew. For me and for my daughter, quite honestly, that means going to water and touching water and being in water. We all have something that grounds us. If you don't know what that is, I encourage you to figure it out. Figure out that thing that helps you get rid of all the negative and all that heaviness, because it's made a big difference. The last 3 weeks have probably been the best 3 weeks I've had personally since December. And so on that note, I want to thank the people in this room who regularly support me, who come to meetings, who say hi in the community, all of that matters. Sometimes I think we sit behind a sign, I sit behind this sign and think I should be able to figure it out. And for me, I've come to the conclusion that means asking for help and knowing when enough's enough. So for all of you, thank you very much, and I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Johnson. Okay, Councilor Motley.
Really quick, I forgot to ask this earlier. A couple people had asked me, how do our department heads report to the city? Britt?
We have a weekly meeting every Monday at 9 a.m. where we all get together, and it's kind of become it's become our way that we can get other staff that don't see each other very often. The fire department doesn't see the Ironton Moors Event Center or the library very often. So everybody gets together and talks about what's going on that week, what happened last week, anything we need to know. We've had a lot of conversations, especially with the warmer weather, about, do you know this person? They were in the building the other day. Do you guys, so it's a really good time for us to get together and just chat. We do that every single Monday. We've missed the last couple Mondays because of a holiday and then because of, I was out for illness, but we do try to stay connected quite often.
Thanks, Britt. Welcome back also. Thanks, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you, Councilor Motley. Okay, thank you. Anything else, any councilor would like to share before we adjourn? Seeing none, we will adjourn to our next council meeting, which is scheduled for Tuesday, July 11th, 2023, 5:30 p.m. right here at the council chambers. Thanks, everybody, for all your hard work. Welcome back, Britt. And we stand adjourned. Everybody have a safe week.